خب یاران، در همین نخستین بخش برنامه به نیویورک میریم و با یک بانوی جوان روزنامه‌نگار و خبرنگار عکاس آزاده‌نویس فریلنس، خانم شهرزاد القانیان که فارغ التحصیل دانشگاه کلمبیا در نیویورک هستند و نویسنده گفتگو میکنیم. شهرزاد القانیان نوه حاج حبیب القانیان مدتی زمانی است که روی کتابی در مورد پدر بزرگ خودشون حبیب القانیان کار میکنن و مقالاتی در ارتباط با پژوهش‌هایی که در این زمینه کردن در لس آنجلس تایمز، نیویورک تایمز و واشنگتن پست از ایشون چاپ شده. شهرزاد سابقه کار در نهاد حقوق بشری فریدم هاوس، خانه آزادی داره و همینطور در اسوسییتد پرس و بلومبرگ نیوز هم کار کرده و در ارتباط با فاجعه بسیار غم‌انگیزی که در هفته گذشته اتفاق افتاد، سوختن ساختمان پلاسکو که متعلق به حبیب القانیان بود و او سازندش بود و کشته شدن تعداد زیادی از آتش نشانهای قهرمان ایران که برای نجات دیگران به کمک اونها شتافتن و خودشون زیر آوارها ماندند و تعداد زیادی انسان بیگناهی که اونجا کار میکردند. با شهرزاد القانیان که در ارتباط بود با این خبر و برای نشریات مختلف و همینطور CNN گزارش تهیه کرد گفتگویی میکنیم. در شهر نیویورک هستند. صبح شما بخیر خانم شهرزاد القانیان.
صبح بخیر.
We start talking in English for you to be more comfortable. How are you doing?
I'm very good. Thank you. I appreciate it. And thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for taking your time to be with us. I know that there is a lot of requests for you to write or talk about this incident. Okay, to start with, talk about your grandfather, Habib Elqanian, for us.
Well, my grandfather was an industrialist and a philanthropist in Iran. He was executed during the Iranian Revolution on trumped-up charges of espionage and corruption, actually 9 trumped-up charges. And he had spent his lifetime modernizing Iran. Mm-hmm. Him and his, there were 7 brothers, so he and his 6 brothers had built a couple of high-rises. They had introduced the plastics industry to Iran, and then they had manufacturing facilities that manufactured aluminum. They made stoves, so all kinds of consumer goods.
Yeah, and I believe I read that Khalkhali, the judge that sentenced him to execution, told that one of his the reason that they're doing this because he was taking Iran to a modern era, which was not okay with them at the time of the revolution, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So, Shahrzad, tell us when you heard about this fire and on Plasco building, which was like a the building that everybody has some memories about. It's a symbol of modernization in Iran. It was actually, and also there's the tragic death of people due to this accident. What was your emotion?
Well, we all woke up Thursday to the tragic news of the collapse, and my heart sank. I couldn't believe it. Over and over again, I looked at all the videos. The firefighters had tried putting out the fire for hours, and then suddenly, in a matter of seconds, the entire building collapsed. It was gone. And all I could think about was the poor firefighters who were still inside when the building went down. It was terrible. And the people who lived nearby were making videos of the fire. Mm-hmm. And in one of the videos, the guy kept saying, "Vay, vay, vay, hamesh rikh tamam shod. Sachtman Plasco tamam shod." Everybody was shocked. Mm-hmm. And I just feel terrible for the firefighters and the families. This was very, very tragic. I mean, I've covered a lot of disasters in the past.
Yes.
And this was so personal because the building was built, by my grandfather and his brothers, and I was shocked by the loss of life. And people died. Plasco is gone, and nothing compares to the pain of the relatives who are mourning the loss of their loved ones.
Yeah, I know. I'm with you. But during the last few days, everybody is talking about the status and the role that Habib Elqanian and his other brothers, the Elqanian family, played in modernization of Iran and bringing the Iran to an era of industrialization. Your research about your grandfather and the book that you're writing about him, how proud you feel about your grandfather, Shahrzad?
Well, I received many messages from inside and outside Iran, messages by people that I didn't know, who were invoking his memory and saying that what the Iranian government had done to him was terrible. It was very heartwarming to hear people that I didn't know, some young, some older, remember him or who had gotten to know him from the stories that I've written. Mm-hmm. And I can tell you a little bit about the history of the building, which
Please.
was, it was the symbol of the modernization.
Yeah.
The history is very interesting, and it was significant because it was Tehran's first high-rise. And now when we look at the skyline, there are thousands and thousands of high-rises. But in 1962, Plasco was Tehran's skyline. It was the only tall building. And what's interesting is that when it was built in 62, that was even before the Shah's White Revolution in 63 to modernize Iran. So it was very pioneering of the Elqanian brothers. And, of course, I'm proud that they were such innovators. And as you know, the building was named after Plasco Car, which was the first plastics manufacturing company. And so it was the first of its kind in Iran. It was very exciting when they built it. It was built with the help of foreign engineers. I was too small to remember it. We left Iran when I was 5, but I've seen numerous photos. It had gorgeous shopping malls. It had these turquoise fountains inside, and I'm sure a lot of your listeners have been in it and remember it very well.
Yeah, every Iranian living in Tehran, and even some people that would come to Tehran to visit, they would go to Plasco. I have memories of Plasco myself too, because it was something very new, something unusual, a high-rise building that everybody would look at it, and everybody knew about it. Everybody would go like a tourist attraction for Tehran at that time.
Yes, and not everybody liked it. There were some conservative Shiite clerics who opposed the efforts to modernize Iran, and I read that one of them in particular had some disdain that a Jew had built this.
Yes.
He later recanted, but he didn't like that a Jew was so successful and had built a building actually that was taller than any Muslim's edifice. And that's something that dated back to the 16th century when they had a bunch of decrees to prevent Jews from advancing and being a part of Iran's economy. But anyway, my grandfather was proud that he had built it, and that was only in 1962. But the building had changed hands. This history is interesting, too. It was sold in the 1970s to a gentleman named Yasdani. So the Elqanian family didn't own it anymore. And when the revolution came, the government expropriated it from Yasdani, and it was taken over by the Foundation for the Oppressed, the Mostazafan Foundation. Mm. And they've been running the building ever since. So it belongs to them now.
When you said Yazdani, are you talking about Hژبر Yazdani?
Yes.
The well-known. Oh, okay. That's a news for me too, because everybody was under the impression that it was your grandfather, and it was confiscated when they executed him.
They confiscated his other building, the aluminum building.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Where he was actually arrested in his office. And that building is still there.
Okay. So, Shahrzad, tell us what happened to the book, when it's going to be out.
Well, I've been working on it for the past 6 years. It's a very difficult project. Yeah. I hope to have some good news soon about a publisher and a publication date. So I will definitely keep you posted on that.
Oh, definitely. I wanted to know that, and we can talk a little bit more about this. But as you are also a reporter, a writer, a photojournalist, have you had the latest news about how many have been killed, and what is the update on this tragic event that happened in Tehran?
Yes, I was actually checking this morning, and it looks like the AP was reporting as of yesterday that at least 30 firefighters were killed, but there are many missing still. And I was looking at the photos, and they're still trying to dig people out of the rubble, out of the debris. So there are at least 30 firefighters killed, and firefighters, soldiers, and other responders are still digging through the debris.
And also, just civilians were killed too, right?
Everybody's talking about the firefighters. Apparently, this happened very early in the morning.
Okay.
And the building was shut down, and some people tried to go back in and get their belongings.
Oh, yeah.
So we don't know the number of civilians. It was mostly firefighters.
And like all other news that comes out of from Iran, there is also a rumor around it. And now they're talking about implosion, not explosion, implosion inside the building, or some hands doing something to take this building down because they want to make it like those high rises instead, build high rises instead of it. Or some people say actually there was another rumor that it was this building. The fire happened the day that Habib القانیان was born, which was a wrong information. I believe his date of birth is on April, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so this was not the case, but a lot of skepticism about what happened. But actually, the fact should be that the maintenance was very poor, and the city didn't take care of it correctly, right?
Correct. I read a lot about. I wanted to know how something like this could have happened. And it seems like the Tehran municipal spokesman had said that more than 30 times we'd warned the building's owners that it was not safe, but they didn't pay attention. And then the fire brigade spokesman said that even in the stairwells, a lot of clothing is stored, and this is against safety standards. The managers didn't pay attention to the warnings. Some said that the fire extinguishers were empty. But I think the important thing to ask is if they were aware that there were as many violations in this building, why didn't they shut down the building? Why didn't they make sure that it was up to code? And apparently it's very lax there. The municipality had been very lax.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Out and so it's a shame that they didn't care enough to preserve this historic landmark.
Yeah.
And also, what's worse than that is that they didn't do everything they can to secure the safety of the people who were going into that building day in and day out. And it's very shameful.
Yeah, yeah. So thank you very much for taking time to talk to us, and hopefully next time that I will interview you, it would be about the book, and we will know about it soon. Good luck to you, Shahrzad, and thank you again.
Thank you for having me.
Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
همراه با تسلیت فراوان به ملت ایران برای از دست دادن جان آتش نشانها و همینطور شهروندان تهرانی در این حادثه و آتش سوزی فاجعه بار.